main point about CPEC, Godar, is really how China has taken over the infrastructure development in Pakistan. And Pakistan does not have too many choices. And how do they manage it? That is the problem, because the costs of these projects is going up. And one uncertainty which Gautam can tell us a little more, the Chinese economy itself is slowing down. Now, it's not so clear how well the investments plan will go.
If it's viable or not.
Yeah, over the longer term.
Yeah, could you tell me, do you think that will happen?
There's no doubt that there's a very severe slowdown in the Chinese economy. And as a result of that, the Chinese economy is facing huge problems, and we have been seeing more of the problems over the past few weeks. But I think we still need to watch the Chinese economy a little more over the next 6 months to see where exactly it is headed. There's no doubt that there is high levels of student unemployment, that is those students who are graduating, and really large numbers of them are not getting jobs. You can see the real estate sector really crashing down, not only with Evergrande already announcing bankruptcy, but there's another big company which has thousands of projects across the country which is also in deep trouble, not repaid its loans to the banks, etc. So in the past, the Chinese used to overcome these problems by spending their way out of the problem. But today, with their domestic debt being very, very high, almost 300% of GDP, they're not even able to spend their way out of trouble and use it to produce and manufacture more infrastructure. So China seems to be in a little bit of a problem. In my opinion, the problem is as follows. But it's not that I'm advising Xi Jinping on it, because if he's making mistakes, I will let him make those mistakes. But
that's Chanakya Niti for you.
No, but I can share with your viewers and listeners that I think the basic problem, in my view, which was made by Xi Jinping, is that the Chinese economic miracle created by Deng was done through a devolution of economic decision-making. Economic decision-making was let down and was allowed to be made by the smallest province, by the smallest, whatever it is, the principality, etc. Earlier in the Mao period, it was all centrally done in Beijing. So Beijing used to decide that some steel mill somewhere in a different part of China will produce so many tons of steel.
Which is communism for you.
Which is classic communism.
Yeah.
Now, Deng Xiaoping changed that by devolving economic decision-making powers. Unfortunately, what Xi Jinping has done is reversed that whole process. He has re-centralized not just political decision-making in his own hands, but also economic decision-making in the hands of the state-owned enterprises. In the action he has taken against the various private sector players in China, we have seen Jack Ma having to run away from China, etc., etc. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So I think by re-centralizing economic decision-making, he has sort of undone the Deng Xiaoping miracle, which was the Chinese miracle of 10% or more GDP growth per annum over 45 years. So I think that's a basic problem in China. But we need to wait and watch what's happening with the Chinese economy for another 6 months before coming to any hard and fast conclusions.
Click here to watch the full episode.